Hello, good afternoon. Um, this is Richard Rickman, of course, from New Hope Baptist Church, and I wanted to get on here and talk about May 6th, which happened yesterday. It was Holocaust Remembrance Day. Um, Holocaust was a very terrible thing that happened. Around 11 million people were killed. 6 million of them were Jews. The rest were gypsies, homosexuals, Slavic people, communists, people that didn't agree with Hitler and his rule. Um, but yeah, no, most of the time, the Holocaust was very more targeted to the Jewish population in the countries that the Germans were conquering. Hitler's main goal in life was to eradicate and destroy the Jewish population completely. Uh, one man's hatred led to all of that. Um, and of course, previously to that, there was a lot of anti-Semitism in the world. A lot of Europeans would, and even in America, they would put Jews in only certain areas they could live in. And in Europe, they would call them ghettos, where there were gated communities outside that weren't the best living arrangements for them. They were called. People would tell their kids that Jews were the devil in disguise, that they're all these bad people, and that's just not right. So, kind of coincide with what Hitler wanted to do. So, what happened was Hitler came into power in Germany, and he slowly started doing these. And what would happen is people would be taken from their homes, would be put on trains and taken to certain places. Some of them were death camps, they called them, which were instant death. You were not, you got off the thing, you were sent to the gas chambers, and you were killed. It was a sad, sad time. And some of them, like Auschwitz and others, were work and death camps. Which would happen is you would go there, and they would pretty much take 50% of the train and send you to the gas chambers, and the other would go and live, and there would be work. People were malnutrition. People died mainly from gas chambers, and the gas chambers was they would bring them into these showers, which weren't really shower places, and would cram them into these buildings. A guy in the top would open up a container, open up a vent in the roof, throw down a cylinder of gas, close it. They would get it wet, and the air would start leaving the showering area, the gas chambers. And the only way to breathe was to climb upward. So when they finally unopened up and they would get the gas out of these chambers, they would go in and clear off the bodies. There would be piles of people trying to get the last bit of breath. There would be cuts, scrapes. People would literally be clawing their ways up to try to get air to try to think that they have any way of living through this, and they couldn't. Others would be shot to death by firing squads. Malnutrition would also be very bad. They actually, when the Jews were liberated, and the Americans and the Soviets brought food, they had to control what people ate and how much they ate, because if they ate too much, their stomachs and their bodies weren't ready for them. They would literally pretty much explode. They would kill themselves by eating. Their guts would be their stomachs would be so full it would explode. Just horrific stuff that happened in this world. Um, so this was a day yesterday, and I think every day should be a day to remember this and to understand what happened and watch videos and to look up and to research what went down at these places. Some great resources is Anne Frank's diary. Anne Frank was a young Jewish girl that hid from the Nazis and was discovered. Cora Tenth Booth is a woman that her family hid Jews and were discovered, and she lost everybody besides her, and she actually learned to forgive the Germans and the Nazis for what they did. Um, it's tough. Anti-Semitism is very big still nowadays. We're seeing it in America. We're seeing it all over the world, especially with what happened October 7th. October 7th was a very sad day for the world. Um, last year, of course, October 7th, thousands of Hamas soldiers, if you even want to call them soldiers, they're terrorists really, broke through the fenced areas of Israel's borders and went in and brutally murdered thousands of Jews. They didn't care who it was. Elderly, men, women, babies. They would burn babies in their cribs. They would behead people. They would rape women and then kill them. And what was worse was they would take their victims' phones, video call their families, and tell them what they were doing to them, and had their families watch them what they were doing to their family members. This atrocity was so bad that Israel retaliated, and once Israel retaliated against Hamas, a lot of the world now goes against them. A lot of our young students in the colleges are thinking that they're pro-Palestine when they're actually helping Hamas. And I beg and I pray for everyone to stop what they're doing and to search up the facts of what happened October 7th. Hamas is a group of people that does not help their people. They were voted into power in 2005. Since then, Hamas has held food and water from their people and used what money that they got for relief efforts to either fund their military or to live outside of the Palestine lands in rich neighborhoods like Qatar and other places. And that's wrong. They use their people as human shields by having military missiles and armaments and tunnels underneath or inside hospitals, schools, and civilian homes. Just the atrocities of what these people are doing. It's unreal. And yet, Israel is the enemy to a lot of these people that are calling. We have young college kids in America calling for the death of the Jews by attacking Jewish people that are American citizens. And this, please, needs to stop. Anti-Semitism is hatred. And you say that you love and you want everyone to be free, but when you allow people in your groups to attack Jews, you're not standing for love. Or you're standing for hatred. We don't want another Holocaust to happen. And if Hamas stays in power, a Holocaust will happen. They have said that their plan is to kill every Jew in Israel, in the Middle East, and then move on. And hopefully, in their lifetime, they will see the death of all Jews in the world. That's not right. If you want the Palestinian people to be free, call for Hamas to surrender and to be taken completely over to Israel. I don't want to see another Holocaust in my life. A famous pastor who was anti-Semitic until he saw the atrocities of the Nazis said this: "When they came for the communists, I did not speak up because I was not a communist. When they came for the socialists, I didn't speak up because I wasn't a socialist. When they came for the workers' union, I didn't speak up because I wasn't a workers' union. When the Nazis came for the Jews, I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. When the Nazis came for me, there was no one left to speak up." Let's not let that happen. Let's let the Jews stay where they belong. They had no place to go after the Holocaust. No place where they wanted to take all of them. And they didn't feel safe probably anywhere because of what they went through in the Holocaust. They deserve a place to be. And I'm not saying the Palestinians don't deserve a place to be. I think that they should be safe and everything. But the problem is if Hamas stays in power, no one's going to be safe. No Palestinians, no Israelis. And that's not good for the world, and that's not good for that region. So I hope you join with me in prayer one in remembrance of the 6 million, 11 million people, 11 million people, the 6 million Jews that have died in the Holocaust. I hope you join me in prayer for Israel and the Palestinians and all the innocent lives that are being lost in this war, and I'll have a quick end to this war. I hope you have a good night, and don't forget what happened in the Holocaust, because if we forget, there's a high chance it's going to happen again, and I don't want that to happen, and I hope you don't want that either. Have a great night. See you later. Bye.